They wear smiles like masks. They speak in soft tones, mimic your values, even praise your achievements. But only until your back is turned. These are not friends. These are parasites cloaked in courtesy. And Machiavelli, the master of brutal human insight, warned about them centuries ago. Not with kindness, not with hope, but with fire, suspicion, and surgical clarity. Because in the realm of power, loyalty is not given, it's weaponized. And the wrong friend by your side is often more dangerous than 10 enemies standing in front of you. Machiavelli believed that most people ally themselves out of necessity, not sincerity. They don't love you, they love what you provide. Status, safety, or a sense of superiority. And the moment that benefit fades, so does their loyalty. If you keep these people close, you'll find yourself sabotaged not by enemies, but by those who swore allegiance with hollow hearts. The first kind you must eliminate is the silent competitor. They act like your biggest supporter, yet something always feels off. They compliment you, but with a delay. Celebrate your wins, but without enthusiasm. You'll notice them go quiet when you shine, like a candle that dims in another's light. These people don't hate you, they envy you, and envy is a poison that grows silently. It turns admiration into resentment. It leads to subtle sabotage, where they manipulate conversations to downplay your influence, steer others away from you, or quietly cheer your failures. Machiavelli would say, if someone praises you when you fall and goes quiet when you rise, they are not a friend, they are waiting. The second type is the perpetual victim. They come to you with sorrow, always needing support, always needing your time, your energy, your attention. They train you to feel guilty for their unhappiness, weaving a trap where you feel responsible for fixing them. But Machiavelli would caution, pity is a leash. These people drain your strength under the guise of needing help. They make you feel noble for carrying their burdens. But while you carry theirs, no one carries yours. In their world, your needs always come second, and over time you become weaker while they grow comfortable in their dependence. Machiavelli knew the cost of emotional leeches. The more you give to someone who takes endlessly, the closer you are to collapse. And when you finally break, they won't thank you. They'll blame you for not being enough. And then there's the shapeshifter. The one who mirrors everyone around them. They talk differently depending on the company. Their values morph to match the moment. You'll notice them speak one truth to your face and another behind your back. To Machiavelli, this was the most insidious type. Not because they openly betrayed, but because they calculated every word, every action, every alliance. They wear loyalty like a costume, switching masks depending on who's in power. Keep them near and you will never know where they truly stand until they stand over you, holding the knife. These three kinds of friends are not mistakes. They are tests. And most people fail. Why? Because cutting off a friend feels cruel. We confuse longevity with loyalty. We assume that shared history is enough to preserve trust. But Machiavelli's world and yours does not reward sentimentality. It rewards clarity, precision, ruthlessness when necessary. He believed that greatness demands discipline, and sometimes that discipline must be surgical, especially when it comes to the company you keep. True power does not come from how many people surround you. It comes from how few can harm you. So you must become cold, not in heart, but in judgment. You must learn to listen not just to what people say, but to how their presence affects your strength. Do you feel more focused around them or drained? Do they elevate your vision or distract you with chaos? Do they make your name echo louder in rooms or make sure it's never mentioned? You'll know. Deep down, you always know. Machiavelli would tell you, the moment someone reveals themselves, do not ask them to change. Cut them off. Not tomorrow. Not after one more conversation. Immediately. Without drama, without announcement. Power is quiet. Let them feel your absence like a ghost. Let your silence remind them who you are. You owe them nothing, especially not your destruction. They'll call you cold, heartless, unfair. That's how they regain control. Not with force, but with guilt. Guilt is the leash they couldn't pull tight enough while you were with them, so they tug on it harder when you try to walk away. They say things like, "After everything I've done for you," or "I was just being honest." But these aren't confessions. They're traps. Machiavelli knew the true weight of manipulation often hides in kindness, in shared memories, in the illusion of comfort. And the second you begin prioritizing your vision over their feelings, they'll show you who they've really been all along. Most people have no idea how many of their so-called friendships are built on dependency, not alignment. Weak friendships survive because no one wants to confront the truth. That this person isn't helping you grow, they're holding you in place. Not because they hate you, but because your evolution threatens their comfort. When you become more confident, they become more insecure. When you rise, it reminds them of everything they haven't done. So they don't attack you directly. They distract you. They'll suggest you take a break, relax a little, stop being so intense. But behind those words is a simple mission: to keep you at a level where they can still reach you. Machiavelli would warn, the one who urges you to rest while you build does not want your success. He wants your stagnation. You have to learn to see through this fog of emotional manipulation. These people are not always dramatic. They don't always scream or sabotage. Most of them are polite, charming, supportive on the surface. That's what makes them dangerous. Because in your lowest moments, they offer comfort. But in your highest, they disappear. Or worse, they pretend to be there, while quietly working against you. Real betrayal isn't loud, it's slow, it's consistent, and it always wears the face of someone you thought you could trust. You need to ask yourself this: who in my life celebrates my progress the loudest? Who gets quiet when I win? Who only reaches out when they need something? Who makes me feel small in subtle ways? Machiavelli would tell you to observe, not confront, to study them with the cold eyes of a ruler, not the heart of a friend. Because once you expose these people, you must act with precision, not emotionally, not vengefully, just decisively. Distance yourself, cut ties, make no explanations. A king does not explain why a threat is removed, he just removes it. And your life, your energy, your ambition is your kingdom. You do not owe trespassers the courtesy of endless warnings. Here's the hardest truth. People don't need to be evil to be a threat. Sometimes a person can be good, generous, funny, and still be wrong for your future. Loyalty is not the only metric. The question is, does their presence sharpen your edge or dull it? If it's the latter, you are carrying dead weight disguised as companionship, and that will cost you more than you can imagine. You were not meant to carry everyone with you. Not everyone deserves a seat at the table you're building. Some people are only meant to be lessons, not legacies. Cutting them off doesn't make you cruel, it makes you clear. And clarity is the foundation of power. The longer you tolerate these shadows in your circle, the more light they steal. One jealous whisper can poison 10 admirers. One manipulative friend can derail 10 years of discipline. One mask can hide a monster, and by the time it slips, it's already too late. So trust the tension. If someone makes your instincts uneasy, that is not paranoia, that is prophecy. And Machiavelli would tell you, listen to that prophecy, or pay the price for ignoring it. The real danger is never the stranger, it's the familiar. The person who knows your rhythms, your habits, your ambitions, because you let them in. And when someone like that turns, it's not a betrayal of trust, it's a betrayal of access. They use what they know against you. Your fears become ammunition, your dreams become leverage, and your silence becomes their stage. Machiavelli understood this betrayal with chilling accuracy. He wrote that a man must learn to be both fox and lion, sly enough to detect traps, and strong enough to tear them apart. But most people only learn the lion. They roar when disrespected. They charge when betrayed. But that's not power. That's reaction. And every reaction is a vulnerability. The true elite, they become foxes. They say nothing. They simply disappear. Quietly. Fully. No confrontation. No closure. Because closure is for the weak. Power does not beg to be understood. That's what makes cutting off these three types of false friends so vital. The silent competitor, the perpetual victim, the shapeshifter. They all operate in the same way. They distract. They bend your focus away from yourself and toward them. They turn your growth into a shared performance, where their opinion of your success begins to matter more than the success itself. That's not friendship. That's psychological theft. Ask yourself, how many times have you edited your ambition to make someone else comfortable? How many times have you downplayed your achievements so you wouldn't make them feel bad? How many decisions have you delayed just because you feared their judgment more than your own regret? These aren't minor sacrifices. These are fractures in your armor, and Machiavelli would call them what they are: fatal. The mind is a palace. But who you allow into it determines whether it becomes a fortress or a ruin. Every friend is either helping you reinforce the gates or secretly mapping out the exits. And when the moment comes, when power shifts, or you no longer serve their comfort, they'll make their move. Not loudly, not all at once, but with small, surgical acts of sabotage. A rumor whispered, an opportunity not shared, a hesitation when your name is mentioned. Machiavelli wrote that the wise ruler never allows sentiment to cloud judgment. He saw the human heart not as a sacred thing, but as a tool, one that must be protected, sharpened, and sometimes closed off entirely, especially from those who confuse proximity with privilege. You owe no one permanent access, not even those you once loved, because love, when corrupted by weakness, becomes a chain. And every day you keep these people near, you're not showing loyalty. You're showing fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of confrontation. Fear of being seen as heartless. But hear this. Being feared is not the worst thing. Being forgotten by your own potential. That is, cutting off these three types of people is not just an act of survival. It is an act of self-respect. You are declaring with silence that your path forward will not be held hostage by guilt or nostalgia or obligation. You are no longer the friend who sacrifices. You are the ruler who selects. And that shift from passive acceptance to active curation is where true transformation begins. Most people never make that shift. They stay loyal to dead relationships. They drag empty corpses of connection behind them, calling it history, calling it loyalty, calling it what friends do. But you are not most people. You're not here to be liked. You're here to win. And winning requires solitude, selectivity, ruthlessness with the wrong people, and a sacred protection of the few who truly deserve your loyalty. So take a breath, look around, and cut, without hesitation. Without guilt, because the deeper you go into your power, the fewer people deserve to walk beside you. Power doesn't come from addition, it comes from subtraction. The fewer distractions, the sharper the focus. The fewer weak ties, the stronger your core. And Machiavelli knew this. A man becomes formidable not by surrounding himself with many, but by surrounding himself with the right few and eliminating the rest without hesitation. Every false friend you cut is not a loss. It is a return, a reclamation of time, clarity, and energy. Think of your life like a fortress. Every person in it either strengthens the walls or carves secret doors. The silent competitor carves slowly, watching you from across the room, mirroring your success while plotting your fall. The perpetual victim weakens your foundation, draining your reserves, distracting you from your mission with endless emotional storms. And the shapeshifter. He is already inside, speaking your words, echoing your values, until the moment he needs to betray them for gain. Each one of them must go, because the danger is not just in what they do to you, it's in what they make you become. Hesitant, distracted, diluted. You start second-guessing your instincts. You become slower, softer, more cautious. You trade sharp decisions for long conversations. You explain yourself when no explanation is needed. And that is how power dies, not with a dramatic betrayal, but with a slow erosion of edge. Machiavelli would remind you that no one gives power. It must be taken. And once you have it, it must be guarded like a throne surrounded by snakes. Do not apologize for being selective. Do not flinch when called cruel. Weak people moralize what they cannot control. Your silence is not weakness. It is design. Your detachment is not coldness. It is strategy. A ruler must always remain one step above emotional chaos. And if that means severing ties that no longer serve you, then so be it. Because here's the brutal truth. The people you cut off will not suffer. They'll survive. They'll find new people to drain, new stages to perform on, new mirrors to reflect their false sincerity. But you will breathe again. You will move faster, think clearer, execute sharper. And that's the point. You're not cutting them off to punish them. You're cutting them off to free yourself. You owe the world your highest self, but that self cannot emerge if it's surrounded by noise. And Machiavelli believed that most failure is not due to lack of talent or timing, but due to misjudged alliances. He warned rulers never to keep those whose interests were not perfectly aligned. Because one misaligned friend, even if loyal, can destroy a decade of work with a single poor decision. So, stop asking if you're being too harsh. Start asking, is this person helping me become who I'm meant to be? Or are they anchoring me to who I used to be? If the answer is the latter, the decision is already made. You're just delaying it, and that delay is costing you more than you see. You don't rise by being nice. You rise by being necessary. And necessity demands that you become intolerant of weakness, not in others, but in what you allow to remain close. Detach, observe, and act. Cut clean. Never look back. Because once you see someone's true nature, allowing them to stay is no longer their betrayal. It's yours. And you cannot afford betrayal. Not anymore. There's a moment in every ascent when silence becomes louder than words, when distance becomes the message, when absence speaks volumes. That moment, the one where you finally cut someone off, is not the climax of your story. It's the beginning of it. Machiavelli believed that transformation always requires casualties. Not physical, but emotional. Relationships that must be sacrificed for clarity. Attachments that must be severed so that vision can sharpen. He warned rulers to avoid sentiment in matters of power, because sentiment blurs lines, clouds judgment, and breeds hesitation. And hesitation? That is the one thing no king, no strategist, no visionary can afford. You hesitate. You lose. Not all at once, but in small, irreversible ways. These friends you must eliminate. They don't always hurt you intentionally, but intent is irrelevant. In Machiavelli's world, outcomes matter more than feelings. What matters is this: are they making you better? Are they sharpening your instincts, challenging your weakness, and respecting your time? Or are they simply comfortable, keeping you comfortable too? Because comfort is not safety. Comfort is decay disguised as peace. You can't create anything meaningful in a garden overrun with weeds. You need space. You need friction, you need clarity, and to create that, you must kill comfort. That means saying no. That means leaving texts unanswered, invitations declined, apologies unspoken. Because not every connection deserves a clean goodbye. Some just deserve a door closed quietly, forever. You don't need to explain. You don't need to defend your decision. You don't even need to make them the villain. They simply no longer belong in the chapter you are writing. And if you're wondering who those people are, look at who you feel the need to shrink around, who makes you question your intensity, who teases your ambition as if it's arrogance, who only reaches out when they need something, who disappears when you need everything. These are not friends. These are weights disguised as wings. Machiavelli understood that loyalty, once questioned, must be discarded, because trust, once cracked, becomes a permanent liability. If you feel it, if you suspect it, if your gut tightens when they speak, that is not your imagination. That is instinct screaming through layers of social noise. Trust it. Cut early, cut clean, cut without ceremony, because here's the deeper truth. Once you remove these false friends, you will face loneliness, but it won't last. What comes after is solitude, and solitude is power. It's where your thoughts realign, your focus sharpens, and your identity reasserts itself without interference. It's the place where kings are forged, where clarity becomes unshakable, and when the right people arrive, they won't need explanations. They won't flinch at your silence or be threatened by your ambition. They'll understand your edge because they have one too. They'll sharpen it, not blunt it, but you won't find them until you let go of those who've overstayed their welcome. Until you stop mistaking shared history for shared future. You are not a caretaker of fragile egos. You are not a therapist to the emotionally immature. You are not a background character in someone else's narrative. You are the architect of your life. And every moment spent entertaining people who drain you is a brick stolen from the empire you were meant to build. Let them go. Let them question. Let them gossip. Let them turn bitter. Their reactions are not your responsibility. Your elevation is. The greatest power you will ever possess is the ability to walk away, not in anger, not in desperation, but in absolute calm. Machiavelli understood this more than most. Power is not proven through confrontation. It is proven through absence, through the quiet severing of ties that no longer serve your ascent. You don't need to make a speech. You don't need to make a scene. You just disappear and leave behind a silence that echoes louder than any explanation ever could. Because here's what most will never admit. Cutting someone off doesn't just remove them, it exposes them. When your presence is no longer there to validate them, to tolerate them, to absorb the impact of their weaknesses, their true self begins to unravel. You'll notice them reach, react, retell history in a way that makes you the villain. Let them. The more they speak, the more they reveal. You don't need to defend your choice. Your results will do that for you. Machiavelli warned that sentiment was a luxury reserved for those who had already secured power. For everyone else, sentiment is a liability. So you must learn to be surgical, emotionally precise. Know when to hold and know when to sever. The three types of false friends, the ones who envy your rise, exploit your kindness, or wear masks to blend into your world, they are not accidents. They are shadows drawn to light, and if you allow those shadows to linger, they will eventually consume you. This is not a call to cruelty. It is a call to discipline, to stop romanticizing every connection, to stop keeping people in your life just because they were there in the beginning, just because you laughed once, just because it's hard to let go. That difficulty, that hesitation, is the very thing that's holding you back from becoming untouchable. Your ambition is sacred. Your clarity is sacred. Your time, your energy, your silence, sacred. Sacred things must be protected. There will come a day when you look back and realize the most important moves you ever made were the ones no one saw. Not the speeches, not the arguments, not the public wins, but the quiet exits. the unanswered messages, the conscious choice to walk alone until you could walk with the right ones. Machiavelli would say, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." But what he meant beneath those words is even colder, that it's better to be respected in solitude than surrounded in weakness. That loyalty is meaningless if it comes from the wrong people, that your empire, whatever it may be, will not collapse from outside attacks. It will collapse from within if you allow the wrong voices to speak from behind your walls. So audit your circle, be ruthless, and remember this. You don't need more people. You need fewer, sharper ones. You don't need louder support. You need real, silent loyalty. And above all, you don't need anyone who makes your future feel heavier than your past. Cut them off, stand taller, move faster, and let them watch from below as you rise, higher, clearer, and completely alone if necessary. Because Machiavelli never said to be liked, he said to rule.